Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. My chart might look a little bit scary this morning. I've had a few issues, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So market is open. It's all right. I was in that trade there. I just took it for, was it 2 points? No, it wasn't 2 points. It was a point and a quarter. Okay, let me just... so we got a leg and a leg. One leg down, two legs down. It was 1.25 points. Sorry, my mistake. Ionis, how you doing? Speedy, how you doing, buddy? Okay, so morning, Daryl. How you doing, bud? Okay, little two legs back there. Didn't look too bad. It was off the bottom there. Looked okay, so I took it and it worked. I just got a bit anyway. So you can see me. I've lost some accounts this morning. My 5 lower accounts only had about $800 of drawdown in them, so I took a tactical risk and lost them. So it's not a major problem. I've got a payment, so I can add a few more accounts. But when they're like $1,700 down, I didn't know whether to just, spend the next sort of month trying to get them back or, make a tactical risk. And I actually took that failure. I had that initially as an overshoot, and I thought this may come down. So I took the failure. It triggered me, came down a couple of points and shut up. But you were doing good, mate. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I've got a payment, so I can pick up a few more. So the one, I got a bit frustrated because it did that, to be honest with you. So I took a risk on the other one and lost another one. So I've got 2 accounts at around about 2,200 in, and I'm just going to pick up another 3, I think. I've just had a bit of a bad run the last few days. I seem to have lost my discipline a little bit. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I took a tactical risk. It didn't work. So, on Monday, I'm going to pick a few more up. But, it was my choice. I decided to do it because they were so far in the red. I thought they may take me about 3 or 4 weeks to get them back up. So if I can take a risk and maybe get a bit lucky, well, I say a bit lucky. I thought that fairly might work because of the overshoot. I thought we may come down. But it happens anyway. So we've had some really strong buying this morning. It just hasn't really stopped. And we've kind of had a breakout now. So let's see what today brings. But I'm okay with it. It was a tactical risk. The trouble is when your accounts are that low sometimes, it was like, do I keep trying to work them for another month or do I just take a risk? If I happen to get a bit lucky, great. And if not, I'll just I'll use some of the cash that I've made and pick up some of them. But, I can identify the last trade fairly fell second entry short in Max. Are you on about the one I took yesterday? It's all right, Speedy. Don't worry about it, mate. It's fine. I'm all right with it, to be honest with you. I'm okay. Let's leave that like that. How you doing, buddy? I took the same trade. My copy, 1 initial account, 9 accounts in the red, and the leader account is in the green. Anyway, to fix it. So again, I took the same trade in my trade copy. What trade copy here is it, bud? Initial account, but reversed. What I would do is, in fact, I've still got 1 account showing open here. Let me just disconnect this a second and reconnect it. On the odd occasion, it opens a reverse order. Just make sure you've got your positions and your accounts tab open. And if anything doesn't close, there'll be a red cross in any of them boxes there. So if as soon as a trade closes, make sure there's no red crosses. You can see that, yeah, in that section there. As long as they're closed, the trades are closed down. Pat says you were always a winner in hindsight. Yeah. Feeling terribly emotion. I've had some bad discipline issues. Yeah, I seem to have been. I seem to have taken that withdrawal out. I don't necessarily think it was that withdrawal. I just don't know whether sometimes your discipline slips a little bit and you take a couple of losses. But as I say, before Christmas, I had 10 wins in a row. My discipline seemed to be really... Well, I've only got one of those up. That's unusual. It's unusual. My discipline was really good and it seemed to have slipped. So I think you've got to keep an eye on it all the time. But, you know, I'm still okay. I still think I'm heading in the right direction. So we are bouncing there. Now, after such a big move, I'd expect much more than just that and that. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? It happens. You make a decision. That's not always true if using Apex. Sometimes it will trigger Ninja Trader and then doesn't show up on Rhythmic. I don't know, bud. I don't know. I don't seem to have any problems. Occasionally it'll show in my positions tab that there's an account open, but I think it's actually not because it's closed. So I just, like I did now, disconnect and reconnect. To be safe, use an Apex trade, copy it, close, and trade and reopen. Yeah. I don't use the Apex one. I bought the original one, I don't know, two odd years ago. And I didn't get on with it. I thought it was an absolute ball ache. So I got rid of it. And since I've, started using Replicanto, I've been really happy with it. So it's one of them things, isn't it? So if anybody's interested, I am on Dan's group as well. I've got both open, actually. Marco's over here as well. I've got Thomas Wade's, and I'll keep an eye on that from time to time. Did anybody take that? Double bar entry, new low. Did he take that? I don't know. Can't tell yet. I don't think so. So I'm on Dan's as well up here. It's $25. Well, $25 per tax. I don't know why I'm paying US tax. I'm paying for your guys' bloody pensions. I don't know why I'm being charged tax. But there you go. Should I try another new? I was unsure. Yeah. So I'm on that as well. So I just flick from one to the other. So there we go. I don't know what's going on here. We have cleared off this area, but I'd expect a couple of legs back after such a big move. So I'm not in a hurry. Let's have a look at the. Right, so that daily is actually doing the opposite that I thought it might do. We kind of had, I'll just bring it in now. We had this, what looked like start a downtrend, and then we had that bearish bar, which never triggered, and now it's pushing up. So maybe it's just a couple of extra legs, and now we move up to clean the tops out. Who knows? Let's have a look on the 10,000 tick charts. Where is it? There we go. See what this is doing. So it looks like two legs up with a break. So let's see. So we have got a leg up there and a. So I still think this is likely going to go higher. Well, I think it may do. I've got to stop saying I think, really, but that looks like a channel with a break. So I am keeping an eye on that for a retest. Not quite yet though. So anyway, I had that bit of an issue. The 5 I had were that far down. There wasn't a lot left, so I took a tactical I took the fairly there. I thought if we can get some of it back, or maybe 1,000 back, then I've got half a chance there. So we cleared up yesterday's highs and we had what looked to me like an overshoot, and then we had a failure. I thought this is likely to come back for a good pullback, so I took it, came down for about 8 ticks and then carried on up, and I lost them accounts. But I'm not too fussed. I did get 6,000, so I'm going to use probably 500 of that to pick up some more accounts. So I offloaded the kind of deadwood, if you like. Read my other message, please, on what trade copper I was using. Closing and reopening didn't fix. Let me have a look. Using Replicanto, but it kept not closing my orders, so I went back to Apex this morning. Sold 9 accounts and bought a leader account. So it's not... How long you been using it, Chad? Are you quite new to it, bud? So maybe a bit of a spiking channel there. I wouldn't be going long there, although there is a higher low. I'd expect another leg down. So it's not closing them. I'll tell you what, but I'll tell you what I did. I started a Facebook group. This is interesting. There's a second entry short there. I think I should leave it. My gut is this channel with a break. We'll see. I started a Facebook group, so I'm not massively knowledgeable about it, but I started a Facebook group, so I'll show you. There's no discounts, no affiliates, no links, nothing like that. It's just purely for help. There it is. So where is it? Guardian Angel Trader. Yeah, it's just there, bud. So put a message in there and see. There's only a few members, but hopefully there'll be some more. But sometimes you need a bit of help using it. So just Guardian Angel Trader, and then just type it in there. I'm not massively clued up with it. It did work. That it actually went up and nearly took it out. Your chart looks different. Let me reload. Let me reload it. See if that helps. Replicanto, and they were zero help. If you go onto the if you log into the Replicanto site, there is help in there. But type it in the Facebook group and see if someone gives you anything. So anyway, Dan's got that as a break and a new high. So perhaps this is going to come down a bit more. I think it's more of a range, but not sure. Where I asked for help was in the website. Yeah. What the hell? What have I got on here? Not sure what chart Dan's looking at there. 1 second. Excuse me a sec. I'm at the 2000 tick ES, aren't I? They're jerking the DX around this morning. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, my chart 2000 tick dart. Dan's chart. What is going on there? Why is mine so different? This is swinging. I don't get that. That's odd, that is. Let me just reload this. Something's not right here. I reloaded mine twice. It changed. Okay. Oh, give over. What? Something's not right with my chart. Something's missing here. Oh, it's loading. Hold on a second. Something's not right. That's an inside bar now. It was an inside bar before. It's still saying loading mine. My chart looks similar to Dan's, I think, compared to yours. Yeah, it's still saying loading. Something's not kicking in, is it? Let's just give it a minute. It won't move at the moment. Looks like it, doesn't it? It's saying loading. Okay, let me just disconnect and reconnect. Still saying loading. Tell you what, excuse me a sec. Let me just shut my Ninja Trader down and I'll reopen it. Bear me a second. Okay. See if this sorts a problem. Where was on the daily? No, my other chart was on the daily above. Let's see what happens now. Just give it a second to reboot. I had to restart yours as well. Okay, so it's restarting up. The good thing is with these blown accounts, I can get 80% off tomorrow anyway, so I'll pick some back up. Okay, that looks a little better. Still a bit. Okay. That looks a little better, I think. Yeah. Yeah, the same. Yeah, brilliant. Looks like a bull flag, doesn't it? That? They're having a lot of issues with follower accounts not closing or trades opening without stop loss. Oh, that's worrying, isn't it? So 15, let me just check. Everything's open as they should.
Order submitted.
Yes.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, that's better. So break, new high. I would expect a bit more than that. In fact, the way this is going up. Yeah, I'm going to pick some more accounts up on Monday, I think. I'm just going to pick up another 3, and that will get me back up to 5. Yeah, update Ninja Trader. Try updating Ninja Trader. I got that same email saying they had they lack what was it? They lack there was some issue or something that it had been fixed. Still doesn't seem to be causing me any trouble though. You did the update. Channel break to pushes to a new high. What I'd be looking for really is something like that. Really. After such a big move. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. Been updated for years. The only thing that I noticed when I updated about 12 months ago is you've got to bloody log in now. You can't just open it up, which is a pain. Now, is this a spike and a channel? Let me have a look. Or is this channel break 2 pushes to a new high and then down? Looks like it. That dropped pretty sharp there. I think this may be likely going to break these lows here. Or is it just a range? Let me have a look. It's hard to say, isn't it? Channel break. Couple of pushes to a new high. Uh, So it looks like we've got a channel here with a break of it, 2 pushes up, push below the EMA. Is this coming down to retest these lows? It's a bit hard to say at the moment. It's kind of stuck in the middle. So when you say that, Nick, 6-0 point of control, does that mean for selling or buying, or is just that where volume's coming in? If I'd have had a second entry short, I may have had a go at that down to these lows. Trouble is, there's so many different ways of trading and indicators and all sorts of stuff. I was looking at some more. The trouble is, until you look into things like footprint or order flow, it's hard to know, until you understand it, it's hard to know whether you think it'll work, help you personally. Now, I was chatting with Nick briefly last night, and he said there's no magic bullet. But what I will say is, when I've heard people talk about order flow, they say it'll change your trading or help your trading. So the trouble is, until you actually use it and understand it, it's hard to know exactly how. It's just a POC in the 1 minute. Okay, so I know it means point of control. Isn't that where basically sellers are sitting or buyers are sitting? I don't really understand it. Trouble is, I've more or less from the start just traded price action with very little. I did a little bit with currency for 6 months, but we use kind of limited indicators. We didn't use things like volume profile or VWAP or anything like that. It's the daily POC since. When you say daily, so point of control, is that point of control for sellers or just where the volume's coming in? See, that's what I don't understand. If you don't understand it, you can't kind of figure out how it can help you. Just wondering if we're having a couple of legs and then this may try and push a bit higher. See, I know what point of control is. Well, I know what the abbreviation is, but exactly what it does and who it supports. Send me an email. All right, bud. The trouble is, it's an absolute minefield trading, isn't it? And unless you fully understand, so you understand price action, understand how it works. But obviously, in a bullish bar here, having a nice bullish bar like there doesn't necessarily mean buyers are going to continue up, because as soon as that bar there closed, the market turned, came straight down. So whereas a price action trader, we wait for a certain signal, but some people might see this, we've pushed away from the email, let's buy. Look at the buyers in there, but all of a sudden the buyers end and the buyers, come down and so on. So it's where the most volume has been transacted. Okay, right, yeah, I get that. I've heard that described like that before, but you don't know whether it's buyers or sellers. So yeah. See, there's so many bits of information out there, at disposal for traders, but I mean, I watch. You sent me a chart, yeah. I watch. Who's the Asian guy I watch? What's his name? I watch him and I like him. I like what he has to say. Right, okay, yeah, I saw a chart you sent me yesterday. So that red area, is it okay if I pop it up on the screen? Is it? Let me just. You sent me it by email, didn't you? Use footprint chart to tell you the delta on the bar. Delta tells you the difference between aggressive buyers and sellers. I was watching a bit about that yesterday, and in fact, I'll just show this chart really, that Nick's put up, and I'll just see. I don't want to change the way I trade, but what I'd like is some extra information that may. If we get a triple testing and I'm thinking about going short, it'd be nice to have a little bit of extra information that tells me, is the bias down from where I am? Now, whether any of this software or these extra indicators will do that for me, I don't know, because I've never used it. So I don't know whether it will help me or not. But until you kind of, that's there. Until you kind of, how do I enlarge that? There we go. Until you kind of use it. Yeah, I see what you mean. So these are the sellers compared to the buyers. So around this area, they're very similar, aren't they? There's not a lot of difference. Maybe slightly higher on the selling. They aren't indicators. It's just price and volume from. Yeah, when I say indicators, I say that lightly. Yeah. See, if I was going to take a short up here, say. It would be nice to have a little bit of information that may help me, kind of go in the right direction. But I'll just open up another. Let me just load. I was looking at this last night. If it'll open, but it won't. How will it? It's not working now, typical. Let's try again. Templates load. Yeah, it's not coming up now for some reason. I had order flow up here last night. It's not coming up for some reason. Something's maybe I need to redo it again. But anyway, I was having a browse of this last night, trying to make head and the tail of it. And I think you need to fully commit. I have tried looking at it before, but sometimes when your brain's full of other things and you can't fully focus. So I need to actually set myself some time to focus. Now, I don't know whether this stuff will help my trade. Have you subscribed to a level 2 data? I haven't, but I believe if I have a lifetime Ninja Trader license, I can get it for free. I believe I had order flow up here last night. I had all the numbers in the bars, but for some reason it's not opening at the moment. We have more sellers and buyers. Yeah, let me just whip an indicator a minute. What was I looking at? Flow. I think it was this one. Volume profile. I think it was this one I had open last night. Whether it's going to show me or not, I don't know. I don't know much about it, but I listened to a guy who was setting one up. Oh, that's okay. So there's okay. So that sort of flow of volume profile. Maybe it will if I stretch it. It's not, is it? I need to, sorry if this is boring anybody. Excuse me a sec. Order flow, is it with cumulative delta? That was the one, I think. No, something's not working. I don't know what I've done anyway. Let's ditch that for now. I need to, until you understand how these things work, it's hard to know whether they're going to help you. Yeah, the trouble is there's so much information. So you guys, if you guys use this, you kind of know how it works. But what I find sometimes trying to take too much information in, my head's full of stuff at the moment. Is this kind of 2 legs back and off we go on another leg? It may be. Yeah, see, the daily cumulative delta is positive. That doesn't mean a hell of a lot to me. I understand a little bit of, I think, the delta shows you the difference between the buyers and sellers, doesn't it, I think? But I watched the guy last night set it up, and I set it up, and now it's not working. But let me just see the guy I watched. History. And I actually set it up and followed him, and it actually worked. Yeah.
Up into the mid.
Guy. I think, was it this guy? Not? Oh, no, it was on Ninja Trader, wasn't it? Sorry, my mistake. I had to set it up on Ninja Trader. I think this was it. Trouble is, I watch that much stuff on YouTube. Can't find it. I do watch this guy. I watch this guy. I like what he has to say. And he talks about it, understanding it, and so on. He has a lot of interesting things to say, actually. He's quite down to earth. So he explains, yeah, I mean, I don't fully understand it, but, you know, it was Trader Dale. I have watched him before as well. Isn't he got an Eastern European accent, I think. Until you understand it, it's hard to know whether it will help you. That's kind of what I get from it. I need to set aside some time, an evening where I can sit in front of the TV with a video on and try and break it up. But, you know, as I say, until you understand it, it's hard to know what it'll do. But see, I took a trade a couple of days ago. We had 2 legs up, and I took a short. It triggered me and pushed me up. Pushed up and stopped me out. So whether any information that I had at my disposal would have helped me maybe avoid getting short there, maybe it would have done, I don't know. Okay, we got 3 bounces off here, and there's kind of a leg and a leg, but this looks like a little channel to me. We're kind of in the middle, so I'm just sitting tight here. As you say, there's more sellers and buyers, so maybe we're coming off the top. It's hard to say. We have kind of got a little bounce there, but at the moment, I'm just sitting tight. Yeah, but Dan said, psychochannel correction. Yeah, someone has gone long from there. My only issue is that actually looks kind of nice, and we've not hit the top quite. So, you know, is there more sellers than buyers? I don't know. This just strikes me as an area right in the middle that I need to just avoid, and rightly so. Triggered you, came straight down, and Be surprised if it doesn't stop you out. You may have got something out of that, but so it's got to push through. So two and a bit points. But I'll be surprised if that doesn't get below there, maybe. Yes, that's the guy. Yeah, who owns TradeZella. Yeah, I like what he's got to say. I watched a few of his videos over the last couple of years, and he speaks really honestly and frankly. He said, you know, when he started, he had a real problem with trading in the day, and it was a problem I had, so I could relate. And he'd be up a little bit, and he'd have that itch. You know, he couldn't scratch, and he wanted to come back, so he'd come back later in the day, and you know, he'd say, I'm just going to watch the charts, and then you kind of make up trades in your head, and then you get in, and you end up losing your profit. And he said, I did that so many times, and I had to stop. So I kind of like that, you know, traders who are successful, you know, talk about the problems they had. The market is waiting until Trump. When is he? Isn't he? He's in office, isn't he, this month? It's got to be soon. I am surprised, actually, in the UK, you're in and out in one day. I mean, literally, as one new Prime Minister's on his way to meet the Queen, King, Pickford's the removal firm are, it's Monday, is it? Pickford's the removal firm are in and unpacking you. So we've got a channel down there with a break. It's a bearish bar there. There's going to be some... yeah. I mean, yes, there's probably going to be some shorts there, isn't there? So this may push up and trap, but it may come down. So I'm just sitting tight at the minute. It is a bit sideways, so it's maybe a little unclear. But yeah, he said it was a real problem he had. He'd maybe make a bit or not take a trade in the day, and he'd have that itch to come back. And he'd kind of, you know, he'd say to himself, I'm just going to watch the market. And then obviously you see something and you kind of make up a possible trade. It's going to be some longs there, surely. See, my gut feel at the moment that this may come down, take out this area. But I'm not doing nothing at the moment. But yeah, I like what he has to say. He's honest about, you know, some of the problems he had. And he talks about, he didn't used to use order flow and talks about it and said it's helped him massively. You're missing half the puzzle. Yeah, it's not brilliant, is it? See, we've had this big push up this morning, so depending on whether we get a couple of attempts to push lower, maybe it's going to continue on higher. Who knows? We haven't been up here for a while, have we? So whenever we get a big move out, I like seeing those couple of attempts to push low, really, and then sometimes they'll take off. You got two trays. I don't want to push my luck. Yeah, good on you, mate. In and out. That's what you want. Yeah, it's a good point, actually. Someone's just mentioned that one of my top-down advice is if you don't know what's going on, sit on the sidelines and wait. I think if I look back at some of my losing trades, there are areas that I think something's happening as opposed to being convinced, you know, what we're doing. I mean, if you look at this at the moment, channel's working up nice and we kind of, you know, have a second entry long and look at it take off nice and two legs back here and up it went again. It's easy to read there because we know we're going up, but at the moment it's hard to know whether we're going up or down. We've had a leg down. They're attempting to push up, but this my gut feeling is this is going to come down. But it's hard to read really what's going on. Good morning, first of all, Karina. my 5 accounts were deeply in the red. There wasn't a lot of liquidity left in them. There wasn't a lot of drawdown left in them, sorry. So I took a calculated risk on a failure. I had it like that, and that looked like an overshoot and a failure, and it triggered me. I thought this was going to come down, and it went the other way. So there was that much damage in it. I thought maybe I'd take some of the money and restart some of those accounts. The trouble is, if they're in by about $1,700, it may take me a month to get them back. Whereas I can pick up some cheap evaluations and $85, to get some new accounts and then try and just kind of recap. But yeah, it's one of them things, isn't it? I took a calculated risk. But it happens. It happens. Yeah, my gut feeling is this is going to drop and clean out some of this, because there's probably going to be some longs in there. Maybe there, certainly here. If you blow a PA account, you get an 85% off or an 80% off, which is about $33. And as I've blown a few of them, I'll be able to pick up some cheap ones, and they're still 80. See, if you've got an account that you've blown in the last week, you can reset it for $35. And I was told this morning they've still got the $85 on. So I'm going to take advantage of that. No. PAs at the moment are $85 if you pass them, lifetime fee. They haven't got an 80% off at the moment, but if you've blown an account, you can reset it for $35. So effectively, you have another evaluation, and then if you pass it, this looks like it's coming down. It just costs you $85 for your PA. Yeah. So, but as I've blown a few PAs, I can get I'll get a code tomorrow for 80% off. So I can pick up some more, and I'm just going to pick up another 2, probably 3, I think. Sometimes when some of these accounts are that damaged, my other ones are okay. I've got a couple around the 2,300, so they're okay. And I'm still on target to take something out of those next month. We've got half of this month and all of next month, really, to get a February payment. So this is struggling to get up. My gut feeling is this is going to drop below all this, because it is struggling to get up and it's going sideways. I could be completely wrong. You should roll the dice 2 PAs at a time. Yeah, I probably should have done, bud. It kind of looked. I kind of like this though. It looked like an overshoot. We clean this area out. Sometimes, we'll pick areas, won't we? And there was an overshoot and a failure. I actually liked it, but unfortunately, it didn't work. But there was only about $900 of drawdown left in those accounts, so they were considerably down. Okay, here comes this now, I think. Let's have a look. Or is it just a bull flag and it's going to push up? It's just hard to trade this really at the moment. But I'll be surprised if this doesn't break below at least here. I'd expect that to push down below there at least. I mean, we've had a channel down there with a push up, whereas multiple attempts to push up. So it's going to clean this area out, I think. So there it goes. It hasn't dropped there yet. It will do, I think. There we go. So that's cleared that out. So channel down with multiple attempts to push up. and then a push down to what looks like a new low, or at least an attempt. So we've had one leg back. Maybe this is a second leg back. See how far this gets down. Sometimes it'll go down so far and take off from there. Let's put this measured leg in place, which is the... So, leg and a leg. Sometimes I like that type of trade, but at the moment I'm just going to sit tight. It hasn't broke below there anyway. Okay, so if you did take that, trigger just stopped you out. So measured leg has played out. Let's see where it goes. So leg and a leg. And is that going to allow it to push back up? Maybe. So I'm not even sure I really like that. It's just a leg and a leg, a leg and a leg. Yeah, Marco just said he thinks, I think I removed the big uptrend. He's on about there, isn't he? Yeah. Okay so far, but I've only really been in it today. I dropped in it yesterday just for about 10 minutes to say hello. Yeah, it seems all right. He's posted his chart. He's posted it there. That was about 10 minutes ago. So hopefully he posts his chart a bit more. But he is chatting there and there and there. So far so good. Okay, so channel with a break and a new low, so that's played out. You're welcome, mate. I'm just going to have a quick gander at the 10,000 tick chart. Now this looks to me push up, 2 attempts to push lower. This looks like it may let me just take a snap of this. I'd like to get down here though, really. Proper leg and a leg. We got a leg down with a couple of legs up and a leg down. It's looking like a bull flag. And, you know, this is strong, isn't it? So there's, you know, there's possibly it could move up. Okay, is this that second attempt to push up? This thing looks like it may be starting to move. Channel break, new low. Is he doing free? What? Sorry, I've got a mouthful of chocolate, mate. Is he doing free one-on-one, is he? I thought he was going to charge for it. He may just do it initially. 3 and 3, small wins, all stopped out. Not liking this PA. Have a good day. Yeah, you take it easy, bud. Sorry about that. Mouthful. Insane. He'll probably start charging at some point, won't he? Oh, excuse me. I'm still annoyed I'm paying £5 tax on my monthly payment to him. I'm paying your guy's pension, so I should be paying US tax. What's that about? That's all right, cheap enough. See, just interesting. Brian's got that with that channel up. and a couple of legs back and a strong push up. So maybe it is retesting these highs. He won't mind me showing this now. Oh, what's happened there? Hold on a sec. He won't mind me showing that now and again. It might get him some customers. Where's my... Okay, something freaked out there. So channel break, new low, channel break. I'd like to see a couple of legs down to this midline. Oh, I see what you mean. So a few of them have got their chart like that. I'm not sure whether I... Excuse me a sec, I've just got a quick phone call to make. Okay. Okay. So channel break, new high, bearish bar. At support, we're up here once, twice. Lower high, maybe an option. It's actually not a huge risk. It's only 8 ticks. Trouble is, picking tops isn't my strong point. Well, we've kind of had, after this push-up, we've had one attempt to go lower and a second attempt to go lower, and it seems to be failing. It pushed up strong, so are we now going to get a push-up, a couple of bounces, and then something, you know, another leg up? Certainly possible. It looks like a bull flag, doesn't it? So it could go higher. Anything's possible. Yeah, but it is just range at the moment, isn't it? But we have had one attempt to come down, and it struggled, and we've had another couple of bounces slightly higher and a strong move up. Yeah, I mean, well, it's like this really. The only thing you can do really is nothing. You may go short here, could trigger you, stop you out. You may go long here, could trigger you, stop you out. It's, you know, I've been up here once. Excuse me again, I just got this call coming in to take. Sorry about that. Should I pass it on to my daughter? Kids. Ooh. Okay, so we are. It could do anything up here, really. Sorry about that. Okay, so if you did take that, triggered you, stopped you out. We have had 2 attempts to go lower, so maybe this is pushing up again. I mean, that is pretty strong, isn't it? To continue like that. You wouldn't ordinarily see a move like that just to continue without at least having a correction. Maybe that's it. A messy one nonetheless, but a correction. So it kind of made a bit of sense here. Push up, leg back, 2 legs up, another attempt. Couldn't get below here, and now up. So, well, possibly up. Let's just put that up there. So we got a break, 2 pushes to a new high. We've hit this area as well, although it hasn't broke it as yet. So, looks like a spike in channel. If you went long there, it's triggered you. And this thing could come down. God, it's boring when it's like this. What I will say is we came down here, we pushed up, we bounced here, we bounced again. We didn't get below here, so I don't know. You tend to think, my gut would tell me then, it's kind of like a bull flag. Is it likely to push up? I think it's more likely to go up than down. But I mean, technically, I ummed and ahed whether that had a break. Some showed it is, but as I've got it there, it doesn't look like it's had a break. So this looks like a break, and this looks like pushing up for a new high, which means then it's played out. Now, with such a strong move like that, I'll be surprised if we've had a tiny break, push straight up new high, and then it can go on its merry way. It looks like it's taking the scenic route up. But there is a failure there. I still wouldn't want to go short there. One, because it's completely congested. And two, it hasn't played out that high yet from that channel. And I still think it's likely going to do that. Yeah. Sides of puke. Trouble is, it's a toss of a coin, really, isn't it? I mean, we are hitting support, granted, but we're also bouncing kind of on there, and we're above that EMA at the moment. And you'd like to think this would at least test those highs, wouldn't you? I'd have preferred a leg down and a leg down, a little failed break out of this range, and then a bounce back above it. It's okay. I'm trying to answer the question on the Discord. I thought it was for me. It's not. It had to go one of the ways, didn't it? Okay, push up, broke that new high, so now that's played out. So channel break, new high. Let's figure out what's going on now. I wouldn't be shocked if this carried on now. We'll see. Sweep of it, yeah. Cleared out anything there anyway. Cleared out the cobwebs, however you want to call it. Say Bok. I thought it must be some sort of technical jargon I've not heard of yet. Push up, sideways, push up. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, it certainly could go up for another leg, couldn't it? Got one leg up. A couple of attempts to go lower. Excuse me a sec. I wonder if that is something. If it is, we're right at the top of it. I don't know. I've tried that once before. Dan's got that like that. Maybe it's not terrible. Trouble is, you want a couple of legs down, really, don't you? So there is a second entry long there, but it's congested, isn't it? It may go up, but it may not. Who knows? We do. What do we do? What do we do? Nothing. Paint dry. I don't know. Give paint some credit. Some paints can be quite interesting. Remember that pink stuff that came out? It was actually white. You painted it and it went on pink, so you could see where it was some sort of fashion thing that came out about 20 years ago. It was actually white, but it was supposed to be white. It came out pink. It was in the tin. It was pink. You painted it on the ceiling or the wall so you could see where it was, and it dried white. That was quite interesting to watch. This isn't there. A few days. Yeah, it hasn't been brilliant, has it? In fact, look at that yesterday. I know what's it got battered. Was it yesterday or the day before? Nutty. I think he lost about 7 or 8 accounts. He got completely battered, but it does happen, doesn't it? I think it happens less and less. It definitely hasn't happened to me less and less. I don't blow as many accounts as I used to. sign up to your first Apex account. Good on you, mate. Much better than trading your own money. You pass an evaluation, you pay $85 for your account, and you've got $2,500 of drawdown to play with, really. So whether you trade one contract or two contracts, either or micros, however you want to play it, but it is better than trading your own money, for sure. You got 5 accounts with Rhythmic. Did not know whether to go for Rhythmic and trade about. I've only used Rhythmic with this. I don't know what the difference is really. I've used Tradeovate with My Funny Futures. So if you trade with My Funny Futures or Take Profit Trader, you can trade Rhythmic and Tradeovate at the same time. So I could trade 2 prop firms as long as, one part of them's on Rhythmic, the other part's on Tradeovate. The only other way you can do it with multiple accounts in Rhythmic is Quantower. But I think Quantower just looks flipping complicated to me. So this thing is it's not slowing down now. I thought when it got above here, there was a good chance we have another leg up. What I'd like to do is after this is get a nice correction, a couple of legs down, and then maybe try and catch something on the way up again. But, it does look a bit sort of bullish flag, doesn't it? What do they call them? There's a few different types in there. I'm not massively up on patterns, but we push up, we go sideways with a slight upward bias. Over the last few days, we're kind of moving up, aren't we? Let's have a look at the daily. Daily overall, well, you like to think generally the daily is always kind of moving up to a degree, but we kind of had a few attempts to go lower, didn't we? And then it took off. But this does look strong today. So it's heading for this area, you'd like to think, wouldn't you? So it could be a really strong day today. So after this, when was the last time we did something like this? Kind of here, wasn't it? We had 3 strong days. And same down here, big strong moves up from the lows there. So we went up yesterday, a little bit of more or less neutrally type of a day yesterday, and now it seems like a strong move up again. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Whether it continue like this for long, I'd like to see a bit of a correction. It's hit and miss whether you get in here, isn't it? What I found is sometimes if I ever aggressively trade evaluations, I always, for some reason, seem to counter trend trade it. Don't ask me why. I know it doesn't make sense. But the way I see it is when price is up here, is it more likely going to continue up or is it more likely going to come down? That's that stupid analogy I have. So it's, ordinarily when we get up here, we tend to pull back a bit, and same here. But yeah, I don't know, it's counter trend trading, it just doesn't work. But Panda is just show views. Yeah. Do you know, I don't watch him anymore, but I did when I started. And looking back, he used to have quite a few green days, and then he just seemed to just lose it, didn't he? And he takes kind of odd trades now. And he just goes multiple trades. Panda is what's it called? Buy money. Have a look. But if you look back on some of his older videos, I haven't watched him for a long time, so I don't even think it's going to pop up. Let's have a look. Oh, there it is. Buy money. That's him there. But yeah, he's up, he's down. It doesn't really seem to. His views have dropped massively. Going back. He was getting one hell of a lot of views. And then slowly it's kind of just dropped off, hasn't it? I don't like to see anybody doing bad. But some of his older days, he had But I mean, look. Oh, don't tell me this is camera up to date, is it? Yeah, I mean, look, he was getting 1,000, 2,000 views a day, and he seemed to be winning some trades. And now lately, it's kind of died off. He's getting a fraction of what he used to, but he's got a fair amount of subscribers. But he seems to just take trade after trade after trade, and he's up and he's down. He's buy money. He gets possibly. I mean, there's two reasons why I do that. I'm quite of a thinker out aloud anyway. I'm one of the type of guys who gets caught out walking down the street and talking to myself, and a jogger comes past with a grin on his face. But I don't know. I feel like sometimes if I'm talking about what I'm seeing, I hear it a bit clearer, if that makes sense. Some people can think quite quietly, and they prefer quiet. I prefer that. And I don't know, sometimes when you're talking about it, you're listening, but you're not hearing it. So yeah, I kind of do it because it's nice to know what people are thinking. I think it does help people. I think it helps me if it helps any of you guys. So possible second entry long here. It does seem to be working quite nice in that channel. It's fitting nice. So the trouble is, this may cause a break here, and that's the problem. I could give that a little bit extra space, and it would fit just as nice. The trouble is, if you look at this channel there, ordinarily you take longs on the bottom of the channel. You can't wait for that to come down here. It may never happen. Generally, it's working up. So I wouldn't be paying too much attention to this. This is the channel we're really looking at, isn't it? I was going to say it hasn't broken below there, has it? It lives up to his name. Yeah, I'm a talker. Yeah, it's a shame that didn't break below there, but it didn't, unfortunately. Mind you, I find trading really boring sometimes. It must be boring if you're stuck in a room by yourself, which I suppose the majority of traders are. It's kind of moving in that way, but I'm not paying too much attention to that. Otherwise, I'll be waiting until it gets down here. So at the moment, yeah, Dan's got that as well. Although there is something generally bigger, but this is what I'm looking at the moment. Unfortunately, the trouble is a lot of traders trade pullbacks, don't they? So that bar there is just a pullback to this line, and you can see buyers have gone in. We wait for an actual setup, like 2 attempts to push lower. We didn't get it that second one, and same there. If that's how channels often work. They push up to the top, they go sideways to the bottom, they bounce it, and they move up again, and they do the same again. What does your missus think about talking to yourself in a room? 3 hours. She's all right. She's all right. She's out most of the day anyway, to be fair. But I've been doing this for 2 years now, a little over 2 years, so she's all right with it. She just pops in from time to time and throws me breadcrumbs. But I think I had a message. I had a message from Karina over Christmas, and she went, "Oh yeah, who's that woman sending you messages?" She didn't like that. Well, no, she was just messing around, but. They're out now anyway, shopping. So, yeah, I mean, if you're a pullback trader, you'd probably buy there, and it worked. It is frustrating when you don't get nothing. I'd have preferred a little break below there. So we're getting close to what may be the top of a channel. This larger channel up here. But we had this big push up this morning, and that thing literally went up right from the get-go, didn't it? Market opened here, and it just never looked back. It just took off, and it went up a fair old jump. Went up 65 points, really, without, ever really having a decent break. And then we had this kind of a spike with a channel, and we came back a couple of times. My gut feeling it was more likely to push up. But we had a couple of legs, often works, doesn't it? A couple of attempts ago, and it didn't. And then when it pushed strong there, for me, it was likely going to push off. We can see it there. It came under a little bit of resistance there. You could see above here, but eventually we got above it, and then slowly continued on up. But the trouble is, it's all good and well looking for trades here, but you never quite know when it's going to break. There's an indication. See, Dan's already got this as a break. He's got that like that. That's how he's got that. A break and a new high. You won't mind me bringing it in now and again. Some of you may join this, so it'll be good for him. So he's just, when was that? A minute ago. So he's just got that. So we've had a break and a high. Marco's got that, same thing as me. Dan had it. Well, he's got both. He's looking at both. So Brian's got the same. And there's Dan's initial. So, yeah. So there's a couple of conflicting ones, but I think he might be just looking at that as a safe thing to say, okay, we've had a break in a new high, so let's just avoid maybe this second entry long, because if you do leave it there and you get a second entry long, you might go long when it's already technically played out. So might be a good idea to get two on here just to, let's keep the colour out of that one maybe. So we got two options. But that's working up like it's in this bigger channel as well. My only issue I have sometimes is when we don't get right to the top of a channel, that's often when we make a break. What's the Discord? It's Dan. Well, I'm assuming it's Dan's Discord, 4N. Let me see if I can get... How do I get an invite? Oh, I have to invite people. What's it? Or send a server invitation link to a friend. I'm not sure. I think you can just invite anyone, can't you? I don't know. Yes, he did, yeah. Whether it's his 4N trades or whether he's kind of... Because who's this guy? I can't see Dan up here anywhere. So whether Dan's just... The owner isn't shown or something, I don't know. But Dan is just a trader that trades price action on Max Group, who's just very successful. He trades 100 plus contracts, so he does well at it. And he's been, when I started trading this style 3.5 years ago, he helped me out a lot. He'd been doing it for a couple of years himself then, but he's just very good at it. And he has a lot of success. And as I say, he trades some, 100 contracts is nothing to be sniffed at, is it? So, yeah, possibly a break and a new high. And we're close to the top of this anyway. So, are we going to get a... there is a lower high there. But this could still be in play, in which case it may push up from here and it may trap some shorts, but I don't know at the moment. He seems to think it's possible that we've already had a new high. Maybe so. Maybe we have. So this still fits nice for me. And there is a second entry long there. And you are, mind you, even if we've had a break, a lot of times we make two pushes. As we know, market likes to move in twos. We may take two pushes. So going long here may work, certainly above there and there, or it may not. But I'd like to see after a break two pushes. So it's one of those things, isn't it? But what I will say, and I noticed this a lot, that's not the one, this one here. We're coming up to the top of here, and from there onwards, it's going more sideways. You know, we're losing that push. So my gut feeling is this is you. When this does happen, it's often when we have a break. And it is a little bit sideways, so maybe it's losing a bit of upward momentum. It's only a maybe, but if ever I see it coming to the top, when it comes back, if I get a setup, I take it up to the top. When it comes back, get a setup, take it. As soon as it struggles to get to here, starting to lose that little bit of momentum, and sometimes that's when we can get a correction, a break, whatever you want to call it. So it's one of those things there, isn't it? But even if that is a small chance, we've had a break, I still like to see two pushes to a new high. Yeah, someone else has just said that as well, and the price didn't reach the upper channel. It's congested anyway, so it's just one of those things, but it is a strong market. So, you know, Mac will say sometimes if you just buy these strong bars off the channel, and they work, but it's all good and well doing that, but half the time, when you realise you've had a really strong day, it's kind of already happened. So, but it did seem to lose a bit of momentum, but it has now pushed above that and above that as well. So if there is a smaller channel there, we've had a break, two pushes to a new high. You know, it's, who knows where it's going to go. I mean, they are a little bit stacked, not terribly, but stacked enough. And my gut feeling is we're losing a little bit of momentum here. I could even lift that up a bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if we had a break. But I mean, even if you take that away, it looks okay, doesn't it? What is the balance of your two remaining PAs? They are just over 2,000 something. Where's me? Where's my thing gone? There, 217522 something. So there's this. You know, I can still make some money out of these. So it's not the end of the world. It's 2,000 there. I've had 6,000 out this month. We've still got half the month left and next month. So 6 weeks, you know, I could still withdraw, you know, another couple of thousand out of each of them. If I can get 2,000 over the next 6 weeks, then I can withdraw again. And they are on day 2. No. Day 30s and 40s, I think. I have taken about 3 payments out of those. I think one of them's 35 and one of them's they're in the 30s. But I've had I've had 3 payments out of one of them and 2 out of another one, I think. Yes, they were at 5,000. They were around about 5,000, and I took 2,000 based on the 8th-day withdrawal window. So I lost 3 days, and I'm green today. So that's 4 days. if I make money over the next 4 days, as long as there's 2-1 left, I could still withdraw some profit another 5 days if I wanted to. And the 6 is from, yes, the 6 is from 3 of them. So, you know, another 4 profitable days, I could take another 1,000 out of the 2 of them if I wanted to. You know, I'm just kind of going to play it by ear. Just back from lunch. My wife, how's the PA been? Not so good, really. See what I mean? Again, we are losing that little bit of aren't we? And if that is a break, we've had 2 pushes to a new high, so this could come down. No, I've never had a problem. I have been denied a couple of times. I got the email. I got an email. In fact, I posted the email. So let's just move this out of the way in case there's any. Delete them. Well, they've been paid by plane. Oh, there you go. $6,000. It's been paid by plane, and that was the money expected to arrive. It's usually a bit earlier than that, so I'd expect to get that on Monday. So it's been paid to my plane account, so it has been paid, but it usually takes a couple of days for plane to receive it. And on Monday, I usually get an email, a little ping saying it's at my account. So that's for this month, but there's another 6 weeks left until the end of February, so there's still plenty of time to, you know, to make some money. You know, if I traded those other 2 accounts alone just for the next 6 weeks, another 1,900 in those each over 6 weeks, I could withdraw to the 4,000 just from those. That put me up 10,000 for the first 2 months. So, you know, I'm on track to have a much better year than I did last year. It's just unfortunate about those accounts. My discipline's dropped a little bit, but I'm going to pick another 3 accounts up over the next couple of days. That'll get me up to 5. And ideally, what I'd like to do is get 5 accounts to 5 grand. And every time I get 1,000 or something, you know, 1,000 or so above the 5 grand is just withdraw. That way I kind of, you know, you know, always have 5,000 in there, and then whatever I make above. It kind of takes me to sort of about 2.5 months to get to that. 2.5 to 3 months, I think, to get to 5, I think. Following some people aiming for $400. Do you have to? Well, absolutely. So the potential there is to earn a lot of money. But what I find is you can't go from earning nothing to earning good money. Your emotions just won't handle it. You've got to step up. I had another 6,000 last year, and I had a 4,000. Failing that, there were thousands and 2,000s. I had 22,000 last year total, which is not a huge amount. It's not a huge amount, but, you know, the plan is to try and double it or a little bit more this year. So, you know, it does take time. I've only been doing this, you know, 3.5 years. This style, I did 6 months of currency, but I was a complete beginner. I didn't really pick a lot up. You don't early. So, you know, it's taking time, but, you know, it's working. I'm still having my little moments, but they are clearly getting less and less. There is a higher low there, but we are struggling there, so I didn't really want to take that. Ordinarily, if this was the top of the channel, I wouldn't be so bothered about that, because second entry short, there's bound to be a few trapped. Yeah, I blew. They were down considerably, those accounts. They were down to no, the other ones, they were down to, there was only $800 a drawdown left. So that's like down $1,600. So they had considerable amount of damage. So I took a calculated risk to try and get them up a bit. I knew it was a calculated risk, and there was an overshoot there. I took the failure, thinking we may get another leg down. And it didn't work. But, the trouble is, it could take me a month to get that back up. And I know you look at trading like that, but I can get another 3 accounts in a couple of days and the balance will be at zero. And they're still $85 at the moment, see. So, I'd have to make $1,600 to get those back up. Well, if I can get a few more accounts and pay $85, I'm back at zero. So, absolutely, yeah. You look at them at different. It's more of a calculated risk with prop accounts, because if I buy an account for $85, this thing is rocking. Look, if I buy an account for $85, if I'm taking a risk in that account, I'm only really risking $85, aren't I? So when accounts are low, I mean, these are that far in the red, sometimes, I'm better off taking a calculated risk. If it had gone the other way, which I thought it might do, I could have been 1,000 up instead of 800 down. Those accounts then would have been worth kind of holding a bit longer. Look at this thing. Delta's up 11. Okay. Yeah, this thing's taking off, isn't it? So, trouble is, when it's starting to go a little bit more sideways and losing momentum, you have to kind of pay attention to this. We're getting to the top of what may be, we've got 3 bounces here, what it may turn. So taking along there, so close to the highs, you don't know it's going to do that. I mean, if we knew it was going to do that, then. Move me stop. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I it was kind of an all-in. If it works, I'm up 1,000. Those accounts are worth holding then. And if it goes against me, I'll pick up some $35 evaluations, maybe later, and try and pass a few of them. It's just me, or the market's so difficult to trade. Yeah, it hasn't been brilliant, bud. It has been hard. It's been very choppy, very sideways, and a bit unpredictable. I mean, this is horrible to trade in it. That wasn't much better. It's not been brilliant, is it? So it was a calculated risk. As I say, I was down 1,600, in fact, a bit more than that. I was down $1,750 on them. You're barely taking any. But the good thing is, bud, you've got the patience to do that, and that's important as well. I'm going to get rid of this, I think. So it just looks like a leg with a correction and another leg. It's kind of what we had. I was hoping we get a bit lower and maybe find something on the way up, but we had a channel break new low, and there was no real indication. Then it went up from there. So I was down 1,750. So to get back to zero, I'd have to make 1,750. If I got a few new PA accounts, I'd already back at zero. So I noticed Max said, since second entry short, you got stopped out. Look for shorts, but never explain why. I noticed Max said, the nice second entry shorts you got stopped on. He said it wasn't the place. He took a short and never explained why. Yeah. I like that trade you took. Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? You played a narrow channel with a break and a new extreme. There, he did. That one there. Tell a lie. It was that one, wasn't it? I think it was, I can't think now, was it that? you're about to trade for me. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Yesterday, second entry short. Yeah. Was it? Was that one there? I think it was. It was a bit clearer than that, was it? It was early. There was it. That's where it was. That was it there. That one there. Yeah, it was a second entry short. I mean, things seemed bearish, didn't they? I think why that may not have worked is because we'd had two legs. So we came down from there and then down to there, and we'd had two legs. So after that, what do? Leave it alone? I had that at part of it. But I mean, it is two legs down, but sometimes we'll get two legs up and it'll come down some more. It's one of those things. I think that's why it takes so bloody long to do this. Didn't I have it like that? I think we come up to the top. We'd had a leg down and a leg down. I don't know. Sometimes they do work. But what I will say is we come off the bottoms and we'd had a leg up with a break. Often we make a new high. We hadn't yet. So I think under the circumstances, there are times I've taken that trade and times where I wouldn't. And I think the better option there would be for wait for the higher low. Better indication we're coming down because we have had a leg straight up there. We've come from the bottom to the top, but we've had two clear legs and we come down. Same again, two clear legs and a retest, but it came down. Two clear legs were there. So I kind of got in halfway through the leg. So if I'm trading the top of the channel, what I probably should do is wait for two attempts to push up before I come down. Same there. So I think that's part of the reason why that didn't work. But I think if you are going to trade something like that, the better option is to wait for the lower high. And if you get a lower high, chances are that isn't trapped. So I think that's why. So I did study that trade and I spoke to a couple of people. If something loses now, I do look into it and figure out why. Well, I've always done that and figure out why it didn't. But the trouble is when you see something like that and it happened that quick, you haven't got time to think. And as still a relatively experienced trader, I've only been trading for 4 years. You're still going to get caught out from time to time. I'm pretty sure Matt got caught out a lot. He's been trading 27, 28 years now and he could spot them. And I'm pretty sure in 27, 28 years, I'll be the same. I've got two now. I've got two. But I'm going to pick another three up. They're still $85 and I can get you can get a reset for $35 or because of the losses, I can get but they were down $1,750. They were down $900. I had a bit of a tilt moment, didn't I? And they were down about $900, but they were down $1,750. Now, if I win the next $1,750, I'm going to open up a trade here.
Order submitted.
Just see what happens. If I make 750 now, I'd rather have made it on fresh accounts that are at zero. Don't buy it's a new high, is it? I'm just getting it here. I mean, it's finishing naff anyway. It's hard to say, really, isn't it? I mean, I don't like that anyway. I'd only buy it on a good, strong signal bar. So I'd be looking at, actually, I think that's more of a spike and channel. So that would be an overshoot to me.
Order cancelled.
Let's just take a quick snap at that. I like dropping if I'm not sure, I like just dropping a charm, but it does look like a spiking channel to me, and that looks like an overshoot. Similar to the setup, the loss you took yesterday, but the one is a new high. I mean, that looks like an overshoot. I think it's tighter with a break. So Dan thinks it's tighter with a break. So maybe it is a break and a new high, yeah. I mean, whether it's a break or an overshoot, I wouldn't have gone the next long one there anyway once I had that. So he's got that as a break. He thinks it is. And it's also looking like an overshoot, yeah. I wouldn't have taken it, even if it wasn't a break, I wouldn't have taken it with the overshoots. Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, looking at that one I took yesterday, the better option to have a little bit more indication. Yeah, see, Dan's got that like that. He's still got that bigger channel, and it is, well, it's actually quite a bit higher than that. So, but actually, he has channels very similar to Mac. That might be why he does particularly well. So there's an overshoot. So maybe we get a leg down. Possible failure. You wouldn't want to go long there, would you? I wouldn't personally. And that would be a failure, wouldn't it? It is a possible failure. Doesn't look like it's in a rush to go down though, does it? See, Dan's got it like that. See, Thomas Wade's got that, same as I had, with no break. Like to see a couple of legs down here. Yeah, I've just got a couple of new evaluations. If you reset a blown one, you can get it for $35. So it's worth it. And it's still $85 to pass at the moment. So I've just picked up two. One down here and another one on the way. I'd like to see two legs here. How do you tend to pass evals on news? Yeah, bigger size. I tend to find I trade them better sort of on gut feeling as opposed to waiting for a setup. Obviously, being a bit cheaper, there's a little bit more of a risk. But I wouldn't call myself a guru. I'd probably pass 1 in 3, I'd say, if I trade them aggressively. So...
Order submitted.
This is interesting. We've had an overshoot. I'd like to see a leg and a leg. I wouldn't want to buy there, so there's a second entry short. See how this finishes. Channel with a break. Just don't
Order
like this at the
cancelled.
moment. It's just a little bit unclear. Yeah, I was just waiting to see if we get a lower high there, but it's a little bit stacked up, so I'm just going to sit tight and leave it. So that would be a failure. Trouble is, with that leg down, we could have a couple of legs up and another leg down. That's often how it works. So I don't even really want to go long here, to be fair. It is a leg up sideways. But depending on how you look at that, whether there's a break and a new high and this thing's coming back, I'm not convinced there is. I actually like that, and I think it fits nice. But that tells me there's an overshoot. And after an overshoot, sometimes you can get a full-out reversal. Sometimes it'll come back a little bit, push straight up a new high and then reverse. Other times we'll get a correction. But I always avoid the next long, just in case. See, if you put an order down here, this thing comes down, takes that. You like to think it's going to head for that, don't you? This could be a channel down there with a break. I mean, that's 11 ticks in it. I don't know that I fancy a tick below, a tick above. There's quite a few traders in this on Thomas Wade's thing. Thomas is in it. There's a few in it. After that overshoot, that next trade I always wait for, just in case.
Order submitted.
This looks like it's trapping traders, to be honest with you. In fact, I'd rather it below there. I'd rather it break below there, because that's going to trap some shorts then, isn't it? Sorry, trap some longs.
Order
it makes
submitted.
it a bigger risk. It's a fair size risk, see, that's the problem. Channel break. It's like a triple test bearish bar. You'd like to think it's going to come down, wouldn't you? Quite a few people took that, but it didn't seem to have much of an impact. Doesn't seem to be coming down in a hurry, does it? Lag and a lag. Another bullish bar triggered and trapped. Hopefully we get a leg. She's not a fan of a $450 risk. I know a few traders took that and got trapped. Yeah, Thomas Wade took a long there and got stuck. There is another bull bar there, but we got a leg down. Hopefully we get another leg down. It's kind of a triple test. We'll see. See if we get a lower high. If I look at this now, I wouldn't want to be long. Channel on break. I'd like this to come down. Well, obviously, whether it will or not, who knows. One, two, three, triple test, maybe. We'll see. I'm done after this anyway if it doesn't work. Okay, there is a lower high, but it's above that EMA. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it's stacking up proper now, isn't it? So it has triggered the lower high. So if I'm best off putting my stop there, at least I'm taking some of the risk off the table anyway. It's going to be stops below there, you'd like to think. I am up a little bit today. I'm tempted just to get out of here. Come on, just push. It's flicking.
Order filled.
Okay, out for $100. I don't know. It's probably going to work. I like the way it was trapping longs in there. It's probably going to work, but I don't know. It's been a finicky day today, so sometimes you just want to get out. I think it'll probably work. We've had a channel with a break. That's where I was targeting, around about there. So 1, 2. It's kind of a triple test. Big bearish bar, trapping some longs here. But yeah, I don't. You know, sometimes when it pushed up and it went sideways, sometimes it'll push up, go sideways and push up. And that's what I was concerned about. So I thought I'd rather just get out and got something. So I got $100. So I'm up minus fees, $200 on each of my accounts, which is, it's all right. It's better than nothing. It's just a shame about those. I did think about those last night. There was only $800 of drawdown left in them, which is not a lot. So I'd have to make $1,700 just to get those accounts to zero. And I'm thinking, am I best off pay a little bit of money for some new accounts and putting that $1,700 into a fresh account at zero? I don't know if it's the right way to look at it. Maybe it isn't. But, you know, I don't want to use it as an excuse. But yeah, it is working. I don't want to use it as an excuse, but you do trade prop accounts differently purely because the risk is different. You know, if I was trading, if they were my own accounts, you would hold on for them for dear life, wouldn't you? But technically, those accounts that I took 2,000 out of, I've took another 2,000 out of one, another about 955 out of another. So those accounts have more than paid for themselves. So it does make you wonder whether it's worth just getting $300 or $400 and getting another five accounts. Let's say I win one, lose one, so there's $70 per account, and then 85, so $150. You know, if I take $500, $600, $700 or something and just get 5 more, at least I've got 5 fresh accounts. I'd probably just go for 3, to be honest with you. But rather than spend the next month trying to get those accounts back up, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, it's the way I see it. I don't know. Some people may say, oh, some of the kind of purists, but you do trade them differently because you haven't got risk. If I put, if there was 800 a drawdown left, in other words, Whiskey Friday, absolutely. In other words, there's minus 1,700 in there. Now, if it was my own account, that $800, that would be $800 left. You would hold on to that, but I'm actually minus. So rather than spend the next month trying to get that 1,700 back to the counts at zero, my best off using, I've just taken 6,000 out. My best off taking, I don't know, $750 and just adding to them. I think purely from a business point of view and a financial point of view, it would make more sense. Sometimes it can put you into bad habits, so that's the thing. But, this is a business about making money and saving money and cutting losses and finding the best sort of ways to work them. So I don't like to do it. It doesn't feel like I'm doing the right thing. But, it is a business and it's about trying to make money. My target for this year, if I've got a target, is try to get 3 to 5,000 per month. And if I can average 4,000, that might be close to $50,000-$60,000 by the end of the year. But that's just based on a few accounts. If I can grow some more accounts, but I have to. There's such a fine line between making money and not making money. You really have to be super disciplined. And I think really I had 3 losing trades in a row, and that kind of sent this on a bad path. And I think really some of the trades I probably should have left. That was the one, is it a bigger channel? It's supposed to fit 3 times, isn't it? And that did. So there was the bigger channel. We got a touch. So we got a bigger channel there. Then we got a break, 2 pushes down, 2 in a row. So technically, that had played out. So perhaps I should have put shorts on pause again, unless it starts to push down again, which it didn't. We had a full leg up and only half a leg. So perhaps I should have waited for the lower high. If I'd have made a couple of better decisions. But I think it's about trading, isn't it? And what I've found over the last few years, I'm taking less trades and making more money. But, so that did what I thought it might do. I could have held, but, sometimes when it goes a bit sideways, you just want to get out with something, don't you? Has streaming helped you get better? Yeah, absolutely. If you've got people watching you don't want to look stupid, do you? So you kind of hold a bit more. So yeah, I definitely think it's helped me make better decisions. So, yeah, I think it has. In fact, I feel like I'm cheating. If I ever trade when I'm not streaming, it feels weird. But it does, and it's nice to bounce off other people, I think. Yeah. So I don't know if anybody else took this, did they or not? I don't know. We can't trade with you never know, you may do a better job. I put it this way, I think it's a tough business, this, and I think it's nice to share it with someone because it does help you manage those emotions a bit better, because you get tips, advice, you learn from each other. There's more experienced people in here that learn from me. There's less experience that learn from me. There's more experienced people that I learn off. There's less experienced me that may learn from me. And you could, it's kind of why I like having someone else's charts. So I can look, you guys can see your chart and you can see mine. So you've got kind of two perspectives. If yours looks identical to mine, there's a better chance we're both right. Leg and a leg. If we get a leg and a leg down, I won't be surprised if this thing pushes up. Although I won't be taking a long yet straight away. But a lot of people stream. Absolutely, yeah. I think that's why most people stream. It's having company, because it's boring as arse, isn't it? Sitting by yourself in a room. And it's sad, isn't it, really? Yeah, I find it a bit boring sometimes sitting on your own. It's nice to have a bit of company. You get to know people. I mean, I get messages all the time. And I always respond to them. I'm happy. You know me. You guys know me now. I can talk trading morning, noon and night. So I never not answer anybody. I've told you before, you guys can private message me. I get loads of private messages. Well, I say loads. Half a dozen a week. Maybe a bit more. Yeah, maybe 10 a week. But I'll happily chat. It's interesting for me. So this has been such a bullish day, this. And not only that, I don't know about you, but has anybody else got a dog there or a giraffe? Is there a freehand tool? I know, I'm bored. My drawing ain't perfect. Is that like a dog? It's kind of like a dog, isn't it? Yeah. It's kind of doggish like. It does look like something, doesn't it? A giraffe or something. Well, it's got the neck for a giraffe, but the legs don't work. Could be a dragon. Could be a dragon. Yeah, so two of my accounts are just under 2,300 now. So technically, with 5 days, I could withdraw. If I got 5 profitable days overall, I could withdraw $200 now. So I'm still actually now in the green. So I'm still a potential. Plenty of time to earn money for next week. The dragon strategy. What do dragons do? Spit fire. Does that mean it goes up or down? But there is 2 legs down here, and it's going a bit slow. I won't be surprised if we made a new high here. But what time is it? How long have we been going? 2:35. I don't think it was a terrible trade. It may have been a bit congested, and I agree. But the fact that we've had an overshoot, we've had a leg back, we've had a push up, we've gone sideways, and we're struggling to get up. That bar there triggered and got stopped out, which tells me it's losing momentum. So my gut feeling is we come down for a second leg, and we had a really nice bearish bar there. So I thought that was worth it. And at quick glance, it came down fine. It actually went a bit sideways first, but eventually it does. And sometimes I see some of these trades at Mac marks, and I'm thinking, that looks so good, but then you tend to forget sometimes, not every trade Mac takes comes rocketing down. Sometimes they'll do that. Pull back a little bit and eventually work down. So I'm not thinking about going short here. We've had 2 legs down almost to the tick. And not only that, we're a little bit off the bottom of this if this is a channel. So it looks like a hidden second entry long, but I'm just sitting tight here because we didn't quite get low. And after that nice channel there with an overshoot, often we do get a correction before we push higher. Is there any type of a large? It's such an odd looking day, isn't it, today? Is it something? No, it doesn't really make much sense, that, does it? How can I have 2 clocks like yours? Those, I'll show you, buddy. Desktop clocks. So I think I just downloaded them free off Microsoft Edge. and it's just a little widget. And I like it because if you want to look at the time, you've got to look up here, which is a bit small. And when you're thinking about news or market opening, I like to be able to have a quick glance. These are nice, and you can make these as big as you like. So I kind of like to have it, but yeah, just go down there into here, and it's I think click Microsoft. Microsoft Store, and it's just called Desktop Clock Time Widgets, and you can have different colors, different sizes. But I like to know New York time for obvious reasons, and my own time. So yeah, it's free. I think it's free, or did it cost me £1.80 or something? It's very cheap anyway. So a correction now, is this going to push up? My gut is telling me it probably will. You're welcome, mate, anytime. Yeah. Okay, so we're out the top here, so that looks like a correction. I know. Has anybody ever used to watch the Gorilla Guy? These are the types of trades he'd take to get out at the top. So he'd jump in here maybe on a limit order, and he'd have his order, so he'd be up there. Let's just see if it works. He'd have his profit up here at 11.5 points. They're the type of trades he liked to take, channel up with a correction. So I'm going to leave that there. And yeah, he would, if he was going to take this, he'd probably get in here on a limit order. And in all fairness, if you did manage to get in there, you're risking 2 points with a potential of 11.5. So I'm just going to. Yeah, another part of the reason I went in there, that looked like it was getting trapped. And I knew, it sounds bad like this, I knew there was quite a few traders on Thomas Way's Discord. He took that. So he got trapped and lost the trade, and there was a few here. Let's have a look. There was quite a few got caught here. Fell second entry long, fell second entry short. Fell second entry short. Yeah, there was quite a few people in that trade, and I knew that. And it looked like it was going to go against them. So it's part of the reason why I got in there. And not only that, it is a failed second entry short. That to me doesn't look like the type of move that's going to move up. And what happened? We triggered it, came right down bearish. My gut feeling that was going to get taken out. If it did, I assume we're going to have that second leg down. I didn't just jump in there. I put it below there. It's a little bit more risk. But if it breaks below there, my gut feeling it was going to flush down below there, and it did. I wouldn't call it flushing because it went really slowly like a block pipe, but you know what I mean. So let's see if this worked. I might watch some more of those gorilla videos. I like him. It's a shame he doesn't trade anymore. And not only that, 2 legs down. That's a penguin star trade, isn't it? Let's see if anybody's taken that. I would love to have a slightly go for slightly more points, you know, at certain circumstances. Such a bullish day today, isn't it? And after that overshoot and a correction, I'd like to think that's going to push higher. And that is the perfect type of trade that gorilla guy would take. So, I mean, if he did get in there and he's already up to 6 points, what you could do is put your stop there and then you've guaranteed you've locked in 2 points. Would he do that? I don't think he does, actually. I think he just leaves it. But if you did like that and you managed to get on a limit order, it's just a 2 point risk for a potential 11 point move. And he used to take those after a correction. It's looking good, isn't it? That's definitely looking like it's going to reach its highs. Wow, look at that. 2 point risk with a potential 11.5 points. Trouble is, the next time I take it, it goes against me and stops me out. It doesn't always work that well, does it? It'd be interesting to see if Penguin took this trade later. 2 legs back after an overshoot. Let me just mark where I think he'd get in. Probably somewhere about here with his stop there out for the highs. Be interesting to look at that later. It's very much his type of trade. Channel up, overshoot, 2 attempts to go lower. Once it gets above that EMA, often he'll get in somewhere with a limit order. Yeah, so Dan hasn't taken a trade today. Marco hasn't traded. So there's not been a lot. So there's not been a lot around today, really, is there? About 5 or 6 people, I think, on Thomas Wade's forum did and got caught in that one. I like to think they helped me out there. But I haven't seen anybody else mark anything really. I mean, that's technically a second entry long, isn't it? The thing is, I got put off there because Dan said he had that. So I kind of thought, maybe that's the trouble, really, sometimes when you get, was it that he had? I think it might have been. So he thought we'd had a break at a new high. And then obviously we went a bit higher and then higher still. So, but I actually think that finished nice. It visually looks nice to me, so I can't see an issue with it. But it depends. Sometimes charts can look a little bit different. I think it looked quite nice, and then that sure looked the overshoot. And usually the sign of an overshoot is we'll have a correction or certainly a pullback, and that was definitely a pullback. And it was actually in the way of 2 legs, and now we're pushing up. So that tells me it was definitely an overshoot. And look at that thing on its way up now. I could have potentially been in that for 8 points. But whenever I see this type of trade, I just get reminded of that gorilla trader because that was his bread and butter. Maybe at some point I may start having a go at that, but just reduce it down to maybe a point. It's a 2-point risk. If I a contract. If I take that into a contract, something like that on a limit order. If I think it's a good, launch point, maybe just get in there for $100 risk with the potential of making will be $550 on one contract, but it would still be worth it. I mean, even if you get a little bit of a pullback there, there's no reason why we shouldn't push up and clear these highs. It's been such a strong day. Do you know what? I forgot I had these 2 evaluations. I should have had a go at an evaluation there, actually. So if Penguin got in there, he'd be out now. Yes, I would. Well, it's $25 plus tax. It's about $30 a month. So, I mean, you can try it for a month. See what you think. But he does post his chart. Marco's in here as well. So he does post his chart. There it is again. And you can ask him questions as well. So, yeah. Give it a try. That's the best thing to do. It's $25 plus tax. It's about just under $30. So give it a go. Give it a go. Try it for a month if you like it. You're in it as well, are you? Yeah. The trouble is, I've only really been in it. This is the first day. I joined it yesterday, and I just went in and said hello for 5 minutes. So this is the first day, really. So I have flicked backwards and forwards to Thomas Wade's because I don't pay for Thomas Wade's. He let me use the forum for free, which was kind of him. So yeah, absolutely. You know, if you can get something out of it, the way I see it is if Dan posts something on a chart and I see something and think, oh, I thought it differently, and it saves me a trade, even if it saves me a trade once every, few months, you more than cover that. So I think it's worth it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it works out at 30 or just under 30 because, well, I'm assuming you have to pay tax. I had to. Whether it's just tax for, out of the country citizens and what, I don't know. But I think you probably all have to pay it. But try it for a month. If you get, if you don't get on with it, you don't get anything out of it, you can always cancel it. I think I've about come to the end of the day, I think. So I'm up a couple of $100 on the 2 accounts I've still got left. But I have picked up some evaluations. I might come back after me tea and trade them and then maybe pick up another couple on Monday. But there we go. So I think that's likely to hit that. I'll be surprised if it doesn't. It may not hit it in one go. We may have a couple of legs back, but I'm guessing that target will hit. So that type of trade, the gorilla style type of trade, which is just 2 legs back or a pullback, did work. Well, certainly looks like it. You're certainly up for 10 points, definitely. So for a 2-point risk, so it clearly worked. I had it about there, say. In fact, sometimes I like to get out at the top of the bars, but I think that probably break through. But I mean, even if you got 10 points out of it, it's well worth it. I'd love to have got 10 points today. So there we go. So I will leave you guys to it. So if you're carrying on trading, best of luck. Failing that, have a great weekend, and I'll be back on Monday. And we'll do it all again. So it's a bit of an odd day today. I mean, big strong morning. I mean, literally right from the morning it just took off. Couple of corrections, a little bit of sideways, and eventually got going again. You too, Daryl. So yeah, have a great weekend, folks. Stay safe, and we'll catch up on a Monday. Bye for now. Oh. We got a holiday coming up. When is it? Is it? Somebody will tell me. Oh, it's Monday closed early. Okay, I'll come in Monday. We'll see what volume's like. Okay, so yeah, is it Martin Luther King Day or something? Something like that, I think. I'm pretty sure it is, or something anyway. But yeah, I'll come in Monday as normal. We'll see what volume's like, and if it's naff, we'll knock it on the head early. Yeah, it is. Okay. All right. Have a great weekend. We'll catch up Monday. Bye for now.